All right, welcome to the Stretch2Go podcast with myself, Ian Ray. I'm here today with a special guest, and we are going to be talking about different things from fascial stretch therapy, how we got involved with Stretch to Win, and kind of a little bit more about what Kayla's doing right now with her work and her practice, and what her experience has been with stretch therapy with her clients and what she's planning to do. So welcome, Kayla, to the Stretch2Go podcast.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yes. So please tell me, where are you located, your age, and what do you do for work?
So I'm currently full-time a massage therapist in London, Ontario. That's where I'm based out of. But when I'm not doing massage therapy work, I also like to dive a little bit into Reiki and some of the more spiritual, like holistic healing aspects. And obviously fascial stretch. But yeah, fascial stretch and massage kind of go hand in hand, as does like kind of with Reiki as well, because it's all part of the medicine wheel, all part of the whole circle, right? So yeah, I'm just here in London. That's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. How long have you been doing massage therapy for?
Well, I started my journey like back in school with massage therapy in 2021. So I'm newer grad with massage therapy, but I've definitely had lots of hands-on experience for like 2+ years now, which has been really great. And it's been a really cool thing to kind of see and grow with, just to kind of get to know the community and get to know like just a different modality of healing. So it's been really cool. Busy last 2 years, that's for sure.
Yeah. What were you doing before massage?
Before, that's when I was doing a lot of like Reiki, because I worked with people who were like congenitally deafblind. So that was a big piece. Like I worked and I helped teach communication for people who are deafblind. And then it's just kind of segued me into massage therapy just because I seen the healing power of touch.
Sure. That's awesome. And obviously you went to school in London area, Ontario?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are there like a lot of massage schools there up in your...
Honestly, not really. Like I went to a private massage school just because like fascia is kind of the biggest one there. But it can be really hard to kind of navigate that one just because there's so many people. I like to have a lot of hands-on time just because the hands-on time is really, this is not a textbook kind of program. Like you need to know anatomy, you need to know physiology. That stuff's really important. But learning that touch is something that you can't learn from a book. So I wanted to go someplace that was smaller with more hands-on experience.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Yeah.
I wish that's something I done in the past, is like going to massage school. I mean, never too late, right?
Never too late.
It's never too late, because I think massage definitely is something that, like you're saying, you can heal the body with just touch using your hands. And there's something different than just, let's say if you just go, I mean, if you work out and do fitness, it's something about massage that can help with emotionally, and like say you're doing the spiritual side too, which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, because I have like a native background, right? Like I'm indigenous. So like we do believe in like the medicine wheel, which means incorporating all parts of healing and wellness. So, that is, you can't be physically healthy without being spiritually healthy, and spiritually healthy can mean anything, whatever that is for you that fills your cup. Right. But it's also like mentally healthy. And then obviously like eating well, like it all kind of goes like in a big circle. Right. So that's where massage has been really cool. And it's been really cool to meet like other people like yourself and like at the fascial stretch to see everybody else's modalities that they brought to the table and the things they had in their background. It was just really neat to see how like these things can all interconnect in so many different ways.
So I had a hunch that you were ethnic, because I know my ethnic people. So what tribe nation are you?
Honestly, it's been like a big journey to try to figure all of that out, because like with my family's background, there's been a lot of separation. And I'm mixed, right? Like I'm mixed with a bunch of things. So like we don't know my grandmother's side in her history because there was like my mom was adopted. But my dad, he's also African. So we're mixed with like a lot of things. My dad's Black, my mom's indigenous, and it's a whole melting pot, right? So.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know there's the First Nations. Is that some common? Okay, that's up there in Canada.
So my grandma, it's so random, but my mom, so she was adopted, and she was able, through Facebook, actually found her biological mom. So that's where we've started to get some of this background and this knowledge. And she's in Brantford, which is by the First Nation of the Thames. So it's like, there's like 6 nations up there, and there's First Nation of the Thames, and she herself, like, so my biological grandma's also kind of reaching out and trying to get put back into touch because of things with the 60s scoop and everything that happened here. Is a lot of the lineage is broken. So, you know, we know that, you know, we have it in our heritage, but you know, it's all about the reconnection, right?
Yeah. That's interesting because like I could do another new podcast on just like family history. I think I'm fascinated with people's family history and even my own family history. Like I'm learning different stories from my parents and my aunt and uncle. So we should save that for another topic for different family history stuff.
We have a whole chapter.
So switching gears, can you tell me a little bit about your backstory of how you got into massage? I know you kind of started with your massage therapy, but what really got you into doing massage therapy, and then, you know, what got you to doing fascial stretch therapy?
Yeah, so like I was mentioning before with the people who had deaf blindness, like they were usually the people I supported were congenitally deafblind. So I actually was lucky enough to go with them and support them through a couple different like appointments that they would have, and one of the appointments we'd always go to was massage therapy. And it's funny because the one massage therapist that we would bring them to used to do DSW work, so she was kind of talking about like how they're similar but they're different, right? So I was able to kind of go with her and like just talk to her and see what she was doing and see her practice, and I was able to figure out that like you can still help people just like in a different way. So it was just something that really interested me, and like even for my own personal like health journey, like I've dealt with like health issues and things like that. So it's been really cool just for like me to see and learn like different ways to heal myself and the community, and just, you know, just all mix it in there together. So that was kind of what really got me into it, is just like seeing some of the people in the community and seeing like the benefits, really.
Do you work in a certain type of demographic or like population that you're working with typically on a weekly basis? You know, do massage and Reiki?
So with massage, I would definitely say that I work with like, it's varied because it's a very busy clinic. So I work at the Spine and Joint Associates. It's a great clinic. It's a multidisciplinary team. There's tons of people there. So we get to see a bunch of really cool people come in from everything from like some of my colleagues see like little kids, even myself. Like I've seen some young kids all the way up to like seniors. You know, there's been people who've come in with just like chronic illness, chronic injury, and like mental health and wellness, right? So that's kind of when I started at that clinic, I was only doing massage. But for years past, I've been doing Reiki and things like that, just like with other, just as a side, because I found it interesting. And then starting this, I realized it was a great thing to bring to the clinic as well, because some people, their pain is stored in their body physically from physical trauma, but sometimes there's some spiritual like aspects that need to be added, you know, and Reiki is really great for bringing in the chi energy and helping people access those like modalities of healing.
Yeah. That's something I don't know much about, so I'm always fascinated to learn different modalities, different, you know, ways that people are getting healed by. So that's awesome. So I guess, how did you find out about fascial stretch therapy by chance?
So actually, when I was in school for massage, my professor took this program. So she's used it, and she did a couple demos on us, and it was really, really cool. And the thing that blew my mind the most is, so like when we were in class, I had a classmate in there, and she was like, I'm going to demonstrate what fascial stretch is just on him. And we're just like, okay, like whatever. So she started with the assessment portion, as you know, like where you're like measuring the medial malleolus just to see if they're in alignment, and his weren't, which was crazy. And then she was just like, okay. So she was just like, she went into it. She showed the whole like demo and how it worked and stuff like that, and just seeing that in a learning environment and seeing it firsthand and how it like literally lined things back up, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like I was like, this is something I need to add, because like that's the kind of teaching, like I said, with going to a private massage school, seeing things firsthand, seeing the demonstrations firsthand, and her having an extra modality that she could just kind of show us quickly. It wasn't part of the curriculum or anything, but it was just something she could show us. And in real time on one of my classmates, you know, see it work was really, really cool. So it was like, I want to add that for sure.
That's awesome. That I guess it's, I think it's just maybe because I went to Canada that I've heard more stories of people who had their instructors or people that you're working with, they were introduced. Like I, on the other hand, like I had to go through a whole social media loophole to find what FST was like. And then, so I never heard of it until, you know, I got into the stretching world and I got my certification through NASM. But that's awesome that you have an instructor that taught you guys and you guys experienced this.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
What was your initial thoughts I guess, or any hesitancy when you first enrolled with Stretch2Go Institute? Did you have any like initial thoughts of like going into the course and stuff?
Honestly, I was really nervous to be honest, because I just, even though I seen the demo and I knew firsthand to some degree it worked, I just like, you get so caught up in your own modalities that you practice every day. You're like, this one's the best. I see results with this one. And I did start to wonder, I was like, am I going to see results or anything with this new modality? Like, is this going to really add anything? And then honestly, I think it was the first day of that course that we took, I came home and I was just like, this was needed. like even for myself, like literally I told everybody when I came back, I was just like, I felt spoiled because, well, as you know, 50% of the time, you know, we switched, you know, we were sometimes the body, sometimes we were the people doing like, you know, facilitating the stretching. But I was like, I felt spoiled after that. I was like, a week of this? I was like, oh yes, this is needed. This is something we need to be doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's like today I had a session today and I was telling my client, I was like, yeah, as a stretch therapist, like I sweat like just doing what I'm doing, and I get a workout out of it, and I need to take care of my own body, because like if I can't take care of my own body, I can't take care of you, dude.
It's very true. Well, and I think that's the one thing, like, we probably realize, like, now that we're into it, is, like, you see how important maintaining these things. Like, I've actually, some of the people that we went to the class with, they teach out of London, or they, have practices in London. So I've been going, I'm like, I'm going to sign up with you because I'm like, it's important, right? Like, we need it too. I think it's really cool when you can offer a modality, but you see the benefit in it enough for yourself that, like, you're like me, I'm assuming, like, we're self-employed, we don't get benefits, you know what I mean? But I see the value in it enough to spend my money on it, because I'm like, even without benefits, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's true. So obviously you've been including fascia stretch therapy with your clients currently since this was like a month ago, right?
Yeah, literally every single person, I'm not even kidding, to some degree has had some form of fascial stretch done in their treatments with me now. For the most part, like, even if it's something small, like, well, some of the hand work we've learned or something, like, we learned so many things that you can just incorporate into literally just general, you know, massage. It's so beneficial.
Can you share with me some success stories or wins that you've had with clients using FST so far?
Honestly, there's been a lot, you know, and I think the biggest success is just having people like literally tell me that they're just like, this was game changer. That's what I've seen. It's like honestly, because it's not really about like what we think. It's not about what we feel, if we feel something works or not. It's about if people come back and they're telling us, hey, this works, I like this. And I think, you know, it's always nerve-wracking the first time, like, I did a fascial stretch treatment. I was so nervous. I was like, oh, what if they hate this? This is so different than massage. And then they booked back, and I was like, do you know what? That's a win. That's everything I needed to know. And they've booked back many times, just like they told us would happen in the course. They're like, people will start booking, and word of mouth. And then I think the biggest win is somebody booked back, and then they booked their child back. And then, you know, and then they're just like, oh, I'm going to book my husband later. And then you're just like, oh, that's really cool. You know, so it's cool to see that.
That's awesome. Just in a month's time, like, that's awesome to see that you're already seeing the effects of it. And like, you know, that's awesome. When you, I have a question. When you are explaining to people what fascia is, how do you explain to someone like who doesn't know? Like, can you give me an analogy that you use, or what do you use to explain to someone who doesn't know what fascia is?
So like, this is super scientific, right? Okay. Like, it's super clinical, but I tell them it's like cling wrap. Super deep. I'm like, you know that stuff you get from the dollar store? It's like that. It wraps up everything. It goes, you know that bowl of pasta salad you put in the fridge? That's like that. That's the cling wrap for that. It's underneath your skin. It's around your organs. It's around your muscles. So yeah, that super, super scientific analogy, is like cling wrap. If you've ever used cling wrap or anything, it wraps around everything. But you also know with cling wrap, when you touch it to something and it gets those sticky little rivets and lines, how hard it is to, one, smooth it out, and two, how important it is. If you want to cover your pasta salad, it has to be flat. So tell them, like,
I've never heard that. I've never heard that analogy.
It's really
I might actually
you know?
steal it from you.
Yeah, it's so scientific. But no, that's pretty much what I tell them. I'm just like, picture it, right? Because it's like, it's a visual. You can see it. We've all had that fight with the cling wrap. You know, it falls out of the thing. You're trying to rip it. It folds in on itself. You're done. You know, you're like, that's it. It's going in Tupperware. But no. So it's just like, and you see how important that is, like, in your day to day when you're like packing stuff away. And I'm like, that's something so small, like a leftover for the fridge. I'm like, when you realize that that's what's going on inside of your body, like that's huge, you know?
Yeah, because like I'm tailoring this podcast for those who are either A, looking to know what fascia stretch therapy is, or B, someone who is like looking to, you know, Stretch2Go Institute to do FST. So because like I was looking online, even on like on Spotify, like podcasts about Stretch2Go, and there isn't one. So I want to kind of accumulate resources so that people who are wanting to learn more about this great institute that we found to kind of spread that news, because I think everyone should know. It should be known. And even though I haven't met Anne and Chris, like I just love them already because just their personality, their mission, you know, who they are, and of course the instructors that they have teaching it. It just kind of makes me want to go out and share. So thank you.
No, this is really cool. No, that's an awesome idea.
Thank you. What would you say to that one person who is on the fence about enrolling with Stretch2Go?
If they're worried about like enrolling with Stretch2Go, honestly, I think they could just see how many of us have like literally go on their page, look at how many of us are the ones who are still continually liking their posts. I feel like, and commenting under their posts, because we do, like, you know, as soon as you graduate, I'm like, oh yeah, I've been there. That's awesome. You know, it's just like, you can see that the people who graduated, we all have businesses going, you know what I mean? To some degree, we're talking about it. We're happy with it. You know, it's something that we're even looking to access for our own personal, like, health programming, like for ourselves, you know? So I think that's something that you can see when somebody's on the fence with a course, you know what I mean? And they're going back and forth. It's so hard to know, but really just trust your gut. And if it feels right, go with it. And they've had a lot of success, which is really cool, you know? And you can see with the professors that we met, they were passionate about it. Like they were proud of what they do. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. There's some of them most of them are all animated and very passionate.
Oh yeah.
I guess last but not least, can you share with me with the audience one thing that you think fascia stretch therapy is misunderstood for? So I know you're massage. How do you think, you know, how do you explain to someone the difference between FST and massage, or like the thing that you do, especially the practices? Because I'm interviewing different types of people, but how do you differentiate with your people?
See, it's tricky because massage therapy, the scope of massage therapy, at least for where I'm from, is that we work on the soft tissue and joints. So really, FST is still a like massage modality. Like it still very much is massage, just not the standard massage you think of when you think massage. The way that I tell people is like, if you're coming for like a physical massage, it can only do so much. You know what I mean? Like massage will stop at a certain point, and then that's when FST can come in to start like kind of increasing that mobility, because massage, we call it remedial exercise, is like the other component of massage, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You could come and get a massage once a week, but realistically, even if you got a 2-hour massage, that's not going to undo what your body is doing 24/7. You know, the rest of the week, if you're sitting at a desk or if you're doing hard labor, things like that. So you need to start incorporating other training, stretching, strengthening. And then I find what I like is massage kind of gets you to a baseline, you know, relaxes your nervous system, takes care of some of your trigger points. And then FST is where then we can start moving past that point. We can start getting into the actual like long-term goals that this person has for mobility and things like that. And then that's when I then encourage them to see a trainer and things like that too, and start finding like some, you know, just some strengthening and stretching routine that works for them. And then it turns into maintenance, which is huge. So it's just kind of like, that's kind of what I explained to them. It's just like, it's a multi-step process, right? Like your health and your healing is not one step, and it's also not one size fits all. I tell people, I'm like, worst case scenario, you try fascial stretch and it's not for you. And it's like, that's okay. You know, you might also try massage and it also might not be for you, but you could also try both of those things or one of those things and be like, this was the missing piece. So I'm like, worst case scenario, you try it. It's not for you. Best case scenario, it changes your pain, and that's huge.
So how do you offer FST to new clients then? Like what do you say to them?
So I'm an assessment-based massage therapist, so it really truly depends on the assessment that we do. Like if in the assessment I see that they are maybe limited in mobility in some way, or if they could benefit, then I bring it up and I explain what FST is, what, you know, what it can do and the risks, the benefits, the side effects, all of it. So because I believe in making informed, you know, choice, and in order to get informed choice and informed consent, you need to know all of it. So that's kind of, I just explain it and I let them make the decision, and they decide usually what they think is best. And, you know, I support them in that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's very important to have that. Just because, like you're saying, FST isn't for everyone, and you're not going to fix everyone. Just like how, you know, massage. I mean, massage is great, but it's not for everyone because you might not be figuring out their actual problem. So,
well, exactly.
I like
it
that.
Really depends.
Yeah, I like that you're an assessment based massage therapist, right?
Yeah.
That's your title. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very. It's a unique niche, I should say.
Yeah, I think in Canada it's a little bit more just because like we are so regulated here. To be a like a registered massage therapist, you have to be an assessment based because we are healthcare providers. So it's a little bit different here. I know, like, because I think the U.S. has some different rules depending on states and such. But
yeah. U.S. is like just open up a whole bunch of massage places, and exactly. I feel like it's unregulated, so that's awesome. So in closing, I want to help grow your channel too. And, you know, for those who are listening, so to know more about what you're doing, your journey. So if you don't mind sharing with the audience how people can follow you and learn more about what you're doing, if you have a social media handle, a website or email address, or even going to your physical location at work, if they want to come in, like learn more about Reiki and FST there in London.
I talk a lot about Reiki and singing bowl healing and meditation on my Wellness with Kayla Green account. That's on Instagram. So feel free to follow me on there. It's open. So even if you don't want to follow, but if you just want to get some cool free advice, you can pop on there. And then my massage therapy account is Kayla Green Massage. And that anytime if you want to pop over and see me, I'm also at the Spine and Joint Associates of London. That's where I am. Unfortunately, my power's out here and we're outside. We're losing the sun. Hence, it's getting so dark here, but you know what? It's been good. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, no problem. Thanks, Kayla. I appreciate you coming on. And like I said, follow if you want to learn more about that. I'll grab your social media handles and your information on the show notes. So thank you again so much for your time.
Oh, thank you. It was great to talk to you.
Awesome. Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.